The early 90s were an interesting time for animation. Disney Channel had launched its Disney Afternoon, Nickelodeon had opened up Nickelodeon Studios, and Ted Turner had created Cartoon Network. Cartoons started to push the line of what you could get away with. Some shows dove right in, like Ren and Stimpy with their gross out, or Batman with its dark overtones. Most shows didn't push too much, usually only having an episode here or there that would try to branch out into sensitive subject matter. Some shows did this well, others did not. And this is what brings me to today's subject, Captain Planet. Captain Planet aired on TBS from September of 1990 to December of 1992. It was then brought back in 1993 as The New Adventures of Captain Planet. The show was about 5 special young people who were given magic rings by the spirit of the earth so they could save the planet. You have Kwame who uses earth, Wheeler who uses fire, Linka who uses wind, Guy who uses water, and Mati who uses heart. What the fuck does that mean? How do you use heart? This has always bugged me. Does it make people give a shit? Is it the give a shit ring? Because please turn that on me. I could really use a shot from the give a shit ring because I'm trying so hard to give a shit about your ring, Mati. When the teens shoot their Care Bear beams together, they summon what I can only describe as Bizarro Kurt Russell after he raided the Joker's makeup. The show was harmless. Mostly harmless. Most of the time they stuck to a formula. Villain hurts environment, kids show up, kids summon Kurt Russell, he saves the day, teach lesson, catchy song. However, every now and then an episode stood out. Some for their touchy subject matter, some for their complete lack of shame. Oh, don't worry, I will get to you soon enough. This one stands out for a different reason. I present to you, a good bomb is hard to find. Buckle up, kids. Today's lesson is on nuclear weapons. We open up in the jungle as we look in on Dr. Blight and Mal. Dr. Blight has just finished her new time machine. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there, show. Why do you have time travel? In what environmental crisis would you need a time machine? As soon as it is finished, she is immediately greeted by her future self and AI unit, Gal. The Blights explained that this was all part of a plan. And what was the goal?
I'd build a time portal in the present,
so that in the future I'd remember it and go back to the past to visit myself.
You built a time machine so you could talk to yourself. Most of us do that without a time machine. The Blights stand there and admire the beautiful view. Not because it's beautiful, but because it's filled with landmines. Gal explains that the landmines are left over from the most recent war and that all this used to be farmland. In the jungle. Young Blight revels in the explosion, but old Blight has some bad news.
Kaboom! Yeah, it's a blast now, but in 20 years where I come from, people have lost their senses and become, peace-loving.
Your time? This came out in 1995. This means she came from 2015. Can I live in her universe? They seem to have their shit figured out.
Well, fortunately, there are still a few warmongers running around. If I had just one nuclear warhead, I could sell it to the highest bidder, make a fortune, and ignite a new arms race!
Start a new arms race with one bomb. Okay, I'm not even going to try to question that one. Moving on. Young Blight says she can build a bomb, they just need to steal some plutonium.
I have a formula for refining weapons-grade nuclear material. But heck, some countries are so lax with the nuclear materials from disassembled weapons, it's easier to steal plutonium than to make your own.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they aren't that laxed on it.
What was that?
Hey, big boys. Would you pull over for a beautiful damsel in distress?
Sure, if we see one.
Target, bucko!
Wow. Fucking wow. Where do I even start on this scene? First of all, these totally aren't Russians. 2. Where is your armed escort? No leader in his right mind would let that thing leave without an escort. 3. Were these two not armed? You're handling materials that in the wrong hands could destroy the world. And last, How did they not recognize her? After all the shit she has pulled in this show, how do you not know her face? After that, we cut to the Bohemian Fortress of Solitude to see the Planeteers learning about the stolen plutonium. Gaia gives us a brief explanation of the devastation and after effects of nuclear weapons, but skips over any key element about the nature of nukes in society that I'll get to here in a bit. We cut to the Blight's ship flying through the nasty storm as they marvel at their loot. Mal explains that the plutonium is making the ship too heavy and they're starting to go down.
Oh no! This stuff's gonna make me rich!
You mean me?
After they fight for a little, they decide to take the plutonium to the future with the time machine. Wait, wasn't that the plan from the start? We cut to the teens flying through the same storm when they lose power and start to plummet. They have no choice but to summon Captain Planet. Okay, rule of thumb. If Captain Planet is summoned in the first half of the episode, it's going to suck.
Planeteers, we're caught in a warp in the space-time continuum. I think I can repel the storm.
So now he can alter the fabric of space-time. We got pre-reboot Superman over here. The ship lands and they are approached by more not Russians.
Hands in the air, now!
The not Russians hold them at gunpoint and demand...
This must be the rest of the terrorist gang.
You think we nabbed the plutonium?
Where have the women taken it?
Nima?
Do not be coy. The ones with the scarred faces and... spandex.
Dude, did you just come in your pants? The not Russians try to arrest them, but Captain Planet blows everyone up while the teens get away. After the getaway, Gaia contacts them with more information.
Well, hang on to your cookies, Cap.
You know, I wasn't aware that the spirit of the Earth was from Texas.
Because there are two Dr. Blights, and they're in the past altering history to ensure a more war-filled future.
In the past? I thought the idea was to go to the future and start an arms race. We cut to war-torn Europe? Wait, in the past, nuclear weapons, wartime? Oh, please, Captain Planet, don't tell me you went with...
With World War II in full swing.
God damn it! Okay, this is where the entire episode falls apart. If you're going to talk about nuclear weapons, you need to have a point other than they're bad. Not only is that argument in every piece of media that has ever touched the subject, but it's a blanket statement that passes over all the gray areas within the topic. Whether or not it was ethical to drop them in World War II, the idea of mutually assured destruction, or how nukes have been a deterrent for conventional warfare. You could have taken any of these paths, but no. You went with the lowest common denominator and picked Nazis. This teaches us nothing, and by doing this you kill any chance of redemption for this episode. Anyway, we cut to the Blights finishing up their bombs.
Whatever. We've got 2 killer bombs. So let's find the highest bidder.
With World War II in full swing, that'll be as easy as ein, zwei, drei!
Wait, was the dude in the paper supposed to be Hitler? No, I'm jumping to conclusions. We cut to the teens running into a dead end, and then cut to them going to the Blight ship. Yeah, I'm starting to get Martian flashbacks. They land in a small village and immediately run into the jungle. Guy gets tackled by a villager and her device sets off a landmine. The village girl tugs at your heartstrings with how she used to play there as a kid, and then lost her leg, and then her friend died, and yes, we've heard it all before. Moving on. We go back to World War II to see the Blights literally auctioning off a nuke to...
Mit or without your bomb, I will rule the world!
I don't know how to react to this. It's like they're trying really hard to make it not Hitler, while driving home the fact that it's fucking Hitler. For some reason we have another German guy, and not Albert Einstein. The Blights use the other bomb as a demonstration. Dude, if your castle is close enough to see that, you're fucked. Not Einstein pleads with Hitler to turn the offer away, but Hitler decides to bid on the bomb anyway. We cut back to the teens navigating the jungle when they come upon Blight's ship. They go inside to find Mal in sleep mode. After a few threats, he tells them about the Blight's plan and even turns on the time machine for him.
Reverse current and create a polarizing magnetic field.
Good thinking, Geek.
Or could, go off and trap you in the past. Just a thought. We cut back to the auction and Hitler is getting pissed.
Bidding is too high.
Stop bidding against me or I will invade you!
Okay, that was pretty funny. The teens interrupt the auction and they even throw in the going twice cliche. Hitler decides this would be a good time to double-cross everyone.
You said we could trust this guy!
It's fucking Hitler! The Blights try to make a break for it, but Old Blight trips and activates the bomb. The teens summon Captain Planet again because I'm starting to think they are completely useless. Captain Planet grabs the bomb, but is suddenly sapped of all his powers by the intense Hitler glare.
I wasn't prepared for the level of hatred radiating from that monster. Prejudice and hate are as toxic as any other pollutant.
Is that seriously where you've been going with this? Hate is a pollutant? So you're not going to take Nuke seriously, and on top of that, your message has nothing to do with the plot you were building up. You could have made this Dr. Blight goes to the past to help Hitler and left nukes out of it, and it still would have worked. Captain Planet throws the nuke into space, saving the day as the not-Americans start rolling in.
Here, please give this. What did you give that soldier? Just a letter.
No, they are not doing this.
Hey, soldier. Can I cut you a deal on some atomic formulas?
Better get this to our science boys. Could be important.
Oh, so we didn't crack it ourselves. We got instructions from the future. Writers, did you read any of this? Captain Planet says the Blights need to demine the field, and then we get this.
My hero, you make my disc spin.
Ditto.
Well, it is Tim Curry. The dude could read the novelization of Schindler's List and sound sexy. Oh, and guess what? Village Girl has her leg back. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that note she gave to that guy.
You know that letter I gave to that soldier? Yes. It was a strong warning to my grandparents about the minefield.
Your grandfather. Wow, that is really convenient. Wait, I think I see a few more sharks you could jump. Just a warning? They had been telling you about this minefield the whole time. You said it yourself. It wasn't their fault. It was yours. Oh, thank God it's over. I'm going to be honest. I'm not mad at the episode. I'm just really disappointed. You had a chance to truly educate children on one of the most controversial and complicated subjects that we have ever talked about. You can have a villain that wants to steal a bomb and ruin the environment, and with that you could have talked about how we aren't being safe enough with them. Or have them steal it and try to set off World War III. That could have led you to talk about mutually assured destruction and how nukes deter ground invasions. But when your plot is going back in time to sell nukes to Hitler, you're just saying, hey, aren't you glad that Hitler didn't get the bomb first? Please, Captain Planet, stick to the environment.